Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, and enter your city or zip to find the closest location nearest you.
We are gold for energy! Send it! Incoming! Put the money in the bag, man!
As I said, your paycheck is your thank you.
What's going on back there? This is awesome! Welcome to Earth! No. Who's flying the plane? Get cockpit. Go. God.
Black Rifle Energy, dropping near you.
Welcome to Drinkin, Bro. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin' Bros, kids. Good old Friday afternoon show. It's going to get weird today. I have a feeling. Let's start with you, weirdo. Don't you have to make some announcement or something?
Oh, yeah. I'm supposed
go
to
ahead.
say, hi, my name's Chris. I'm a Greenberry medic, and any and all opinions that I give here on this channel belong completely and totally to me.
Mm-hmm.
They do not represent the United States Army, the Department of War,
Sure.
or any other entity within the United States government.
Awesome. My name is Ross Patterson. I'm 18% homosexual. I've only had sex with 3 men in my entire adult life. 18 divided by 100 is, well, you can figure that out, okay? All right? Welcome to the show. What's with the disclaimer, dude? What is that? Are you in?
Yeah, I'm still in the United States military. Working through a medical
Okay.
retirement that just kicked off, so 6 to 9 months. Not 69.
Okay.
6 to 9 months.
6 to 9
Is what-
months
is
at
what I'm
this
being
point.
told.
Gotcha.
So if you only had sex with 3 dudes, does that make you 6%
God, you just
gay
won't
every
let it
time?
go.
Just honestly, man, like we don't do that here. We don't
Okay.
kink shame or anything else.
You
I'm
just
not- I'm
won't
just
let
I
it
asking
go.
for the
fuck
math.
who I want to fuck.
You go ahead,
It's
dude.
my big dick, and I want to fuck who I want to fuck. Shoot the goddamn movie.
See, now you've
Boogie Nights.
now you've upset him.
Right. Well, no, I just want to know the math on it because it sounds like you said 18% gay. You've had sex
Right.
with 3 dudes, 6% gay every time. So
Sure.
you've got a long way to go for your 100% gay, which is totally okay with me, man.
That's
If
the
you're
second half of my
homosexual,
life.
That's fine.
That's
He
the
just
second half of my life.
he just likes to track the numbers because he's really autistic.
I don't know, can you
Okay.
ever
Well,
actually get to
autistic
100%?
and
Can I
gay.
show you guys?
You're winning.
Look, these Friday shows are always fucking weird. Can I show you guys complete male happiness?
Yes.
Okay. Bob, will you pull up that picture you pulled up for me on Ross Patterson Revolution the other day of Freddie Mercury in bed with all those dudes? Oh my God, he already had it pulled up.
Look at him,
Shut
dude.
the fuck
He is
up.
so good at
That's a
this.
fucking pro. Give Bob a round of applause there, Ryan. He deserves it for that one. There you go. All right, now blow this up here for the gentleman and anybody else who's watching at home who is curious about the homosexual lifestyle or maybe dabbles in it already. Now, this is Freddie Mercury in bed with roughly 7 other dudes.
Freddie Mercury lookalikes?
Yes. Does it get better than that?
I think this is just an average night at the fire station.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's
I
what
was
it looks
gonna
like.
say the Navy.
Or the Navy or a cop.
Yeah, the
police
ninth
station.
the ninth guy is cooking chili in the other room right,
Right.
Oh, not chili.
exactly.
now. Oh, it's chili.
Oh, it's not chili.
Everybody
In
knows
bed
this-
like that?
Right.
Everybody knows it's not gay to kiss the homies goodnight, though.
No.
Like,
And if you look at this
about
picture, and pop
penetrating
this
the
up
homies?
one more time, Bob. If you look at this picture, look at how happy they are, dude. Sucking each other's dicks.
Right.
And just watching a fucking Steelers
Getting-
game afterwards.
Getting HIV.
Just living life, bro. Freddie's singing. "Dale, dale." And then it's like, oh, shit, man. Like,
I thought
he's
you
singing,
turned it on.
leading, everything else. And that's off the cuff. YouTube's definitely going to ding us for a copyright, obviously, because it was pretty goddamn pitch perfect. But
close.
recording quality, some would say. But if you look at these dudes, it's hard to argue against the fucking gay lifestyle right there. I've never seen a bed full of happier dudes,
I was
dude.
going to say, they're all smiling.
Yes.
Look at the mustaches,
Yeah.
first off.
Yeah.
it tickles.
I can't
does.
get Dan to smile in a grocery store last night with his girlfriend, for Christ's
Maybe
sakes.
he should try getting in bed with 7 other gay men.
That's
No,
what I
got,
think.
What I did was I got in bed with my super hot girlfriend and
Sure.
smiled in private like a man.
That works.
Okay. Okay.
That works.
Smiling in public is a sign of weakness.
I look. This is not public, friend.
That is that's as public as New York City Park, right?
I don't have
real,
a,
man.
I don't have a problem
Public
with this.
restroom.
Because
Right
they're in their own bedroom,
Because
or
they're in
is this
private,
a
yeah.
club? Like Bob, what's the answer to this? Is this outdoors, like a real club?
I want to know what the
This
cameraman
place?
did
Yeah.
to get left out of this.
That's
right?
probably
like,
his
hey,
mansion.
get out, go take a picture.
Yeah,
of
go take
everybody.
the picture
Who's
of it,
gonna
dude.
take a picture of me in bed too? Nobody.
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 Nobody. But is this at his house or is this at a club?
I think it's at a house, probably.
Okay.
Maybe a hotel. Maybe a hotel.
Bob, you don't have a bed that big at a
The
hotel.
dude second from the left is extra spicy. You look at him.
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, that's
The
'cause
one
he's
that's
on
getting buried
poppers.
in there?
Yeah, he's
Between
on
all the
poppers.
cheeks?
Right.
Yeah.
I want to break free, and
Yeah.
then they just bone all night.
And he's dilated probably 8-9 centimeters by now.
Easy, dude. Back there, that thing's fucking loose.
Which one of them do you think is bicycle?
Are you talking about?
Ride my bicycle.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about a dildo, which is
That works.
It's a bike chain, and it's
Yeah.
attached to pedals, and then it kind of just drills into the other person's asshole there, or vagina. But obviously,
Your
we're doing what
choice.
we're doing.
It's
here
America.
today.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
this
they
looks
call
like
it-
80s. There's probably not any
They call it
fake ones in there.
a shit pussy, I believe.
Oh, really?
A shussy.
A shussy.
The
Yeah.
pussy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I heard a kid the other night call somebody a shit-idiot, and I really like that. And I was like,
I
God
like
damn
shit-idiot.
it,
That's a
dude.
good
Way to
one.
go.
We actually
I'm
we say
stealing
we
Way to
say-
go. I saw a shit-idiot on TV last night. We ended up watching that Mom-Dami debate.
Oh, my God.
Last
and
night.
Daddy.
Boy. Bob, go to Drinkin' Bros Podcast Twitter, if you will, and pull up this clip that I reposted.
That's called a portmanteau, by the way, when you combine two words into one new word.
Is it really?
And then, ma'am, Donnie was
you.
he was upset that Cuomo didn't know all the mosques in
That's
New
what
York
we're going to
City.
show here. And
That's important,
if
though.
you wonder what the debate was really all about last night and what he's actually going to do to the city, he just said it out loud here. Go
Yeah.
ahead and play this clip.
Candidate in the Democratic primary for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except that
Okay, you can press pause there because the rest of it does not matter. Why is stepping foot inside of a mosque important for being mayor of New York City? Why the fuck do we have to care about the Muslim community in New York City? And also, it's only been 24 years since they blew up the fucking towers. Now we're here, like we're about to elect a fucking mayor.
Well, there's only one reason. By the way, it's been less time. It was less time between London getting bombed in 2005 and them electing a mayor.
Oh, I forgot.
Right,
Yes,
that's
yes,
a
yes.
Muslim. The only reason for any mayor or anybody else in New York to know where the mosques are is to know where to fucking drop J-dams.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't really understand how you're going on TV. And this is, I mean, it's one of your biggest topics that you're fighting for the people of New York. It's 10,000 National Guard in the subway currently. They're on their second, tour? What do you call that, Dan?
Yeah, that would be a TDY deployment. I mean,
Okay.
actually, they changed the rules. Anything over 6 months is a permanent change of station now. So it's a.
Oh, really?
I don't know how you do
They
that.
fucking
now.
live there. And I mean, they're like Ninja Turtles down in the fucking subway.
Yeah, I
so-
saw April O'Neil down there. I don't know about the pizza situation, to be honest.
I was gonna
I'm
say,
more of a
complete with
Detroit style pizza
politicians
guy.
delivering them pizzas and everything down in the subway
Yeah.
systems, getting their photo ops and everything.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
that's what
I
usually
bet,
happens
yeah.
when they show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, and Homeboy was there, that Republican. He wasn't wearing his little raspberry beret last night. And he was
You
actually...
should. You should have to earn a beret. As there's 3 people on this show that had to do that.
Oh, so you didn't?
No, I
sorry. No, I went to a Prince concert, like front row, and I was close enough when he sang
Well, they
that
don't do
song.
berets at the at Olive Garden.
No, they don't.
They don't.
Unfortunately.
They
They
should.
don't.
Maybe they should though.
Yeah, I was wearing Kevlar a lot of the times though, but
Depending on what
It was-
Olive Garden
well,
you go to, Kevlar is
No,
recommended.
it was Kevlar underwear actually.
it was yeah.
Protect your breadstick.
Got to,
Yeah.
got to,
Always.
because there is an end to that.
Because
basket.
he's only 18% homosexual so far.
That's right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, the Kevlar
Once you
is
get to
important.
100%,
Right.
you've got AIDS.
Then you've got AIDS,
You
but
give them an inch, they want to take a mile. You know?
yeah, you give these whores an inch, they want the other 7. But as I was watching this unfold last night, the Republican candidate actually, like, it set aside his fucking raspberry beret. He was an old school New Yorker, born and bred there, talks like, man, I just want the streets to be safe and I want to be out here with my people. I'm not fucking leaving. They even asked him last night during the thing of like, hey, are you going to leave if he's elected? And he goes, no, I'm a New Yorker and I'm fucking staying. I was born here and I lived here. And he goes, we'll get through this. He goes, I wish people wouldn't vote for this bullshit, but, so be it if so. Whereas Cuomo, I think, said, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Well, I like that mentality, right? This is my country no matter what happens, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to step up, and he can still participate. That's one of the beauties of the United States is you can still participate in the government even if you disagree with the person who's leading it. And if you disagree with the mayor of New York City, which I think Curtis Silva obviously does, you can still be proactive in counteracting a lot of the bullshit that mom and daddy wants to do.
Yep.
You know, and he gets on the camera too, and he has this really weird way of rephrasing things. He said, "We're finally going to raise the taxes in New York City," as if New Yorkers don't already feel that way. They're paying a bunch of money for pizza with penicillin on it to,
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles references here. But I don't understand why any New Yorker, if you go back to 2001, September 12, 2001, and you say, hey, guess what, guys? You're going to elect a communist Muslim as mayor here in 25 years. No one would believe you.
I
And yet here we
certainly
are.
not.
They put a mosque at ground zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this wound has already been gaped open as far as it can get. This is not that much bigger of a step from there.
True.
Yeah. And I lived there about a year and a half before. And yeah, dude, if you would have told me that, I would have told you to go fuck yourself.
Right.
A Muslim.
Right.
Let alone before
Exactly.
the fucking towers came down or anything. I would have said no.
Yep.
And especially with what we've seen in London, you would
God.
have two of the biggest cities in the world now that are controlled by Muslim mayors. And forget it. Those motherfuckers are going to be hearing a call to prayer five times a day.
Well, is it ironic at all that London at one point used to be the global capital of finance, and New York City certainly is the global capital of finance right now, and both of them now, London having to deal with a Muslim takeover, they're 10 years ahead of where we're at, and New York City now has a communist Muslim who's looking to be the mayor of the city, which is the hub for capitalism around the world, right? It's a weird historical parallel for me to see this and say, like, well, this is how the West continues to slide into decline when the British Empire had collapsed, and London used to be the global hub for finance, and now they're being taken over in the United States, and New York is being targeted the same way. It's just a weird historical parallel. It's almost like history repeats itself, or at the very least rhymes, because here we are again.
Yeah, and by the way, we're big fans of I Came With Fire, your podcast, which is why
appreciate
you
that.
guys are here, and we invited you. But Dan, you've been talking about this for a while. It seems real fucking intentional now at this point because after the debate was over, I'll admit he's gonna fucking win, and it sucks. There's something about Cuomo that it brings up those COVID, I killed all your grandparents vibes and all that
It
other
does.
shit, and like the people in the audience just do not like him.
He got Me Too'd as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he got everything. Like all the things happen to him. But Dan, with the two biggest cities, it feels intentional.
Yeah.
So who put this guy in? Like I don't really get it. He came out of nowhere. He's gonna be the fucking mayor, and who installed this fucking guy? Because it just doesn't make sense. It's so rare to happen.
Neo-Marxism, right? We talked about this a bit on fake news, but there's this group of people at the Frankfurt School in the 20s and 30s in Germany. They ended up getting run out of town in the 30s because they were all Jews, right? But in the 20s and 30s, this Jewish think tank at the Frankfurt School was like, why didn't Marx win? Why didn't the revolution look like we thought it was going to look? Why didn't we end up winning? And they said, well, now we have to pivot. We have to do, like, the political organizing is not enough. We have to get violent. And that's where, like, people like Bill Ayers comes from, the place where Obama started his career. Obama is a neo-Marxist. He is a plant from the neo-Marxists. That's all he ever was. I mean, you could look back at the time that he was in charge. He didn't do anything differently than any Republican that came before him. Not one fucking thing. And he's championed as some kind of progressive hero. He didn't do anything. Even with the Affordable Care Act, I had a friend working for him at the time. She was the National Women's Vote Coordinator in 2012, which is a pretty big job to have, right? And she quit because during the debate over the Affordable Care Act, they took out the part or they added a part that allowed religious exemptions for birth control, right?
Yeah.
That's a woman's choice if she wants to do that or not, right? Like I don't think that one, birth control's poison. Two, the government shouldn't be paying for any of this shit, right? But inside the confines of Obama's mind, he thought that both of those things were a human right. And he said, you know what, women, I don't really care about that so much as I do about getting my name up on the fucking building. That's what I really care about. So he's a complete fraud. But the whole point of it was to destabilize America. That's what the point of neo-Marxism is. It's not. So Marxism was, here's our idea. We think it's better than yours. We're going to mobilize and vote and try to make a Marxist government because we think it's a utopian government. We think it'll work. Neo-Marxism is, we know that people won't believe us, so we're going to fucking force you to. That's what it is, and that's what this guy is.
Well, and to your point, like, they're planted all over the place. You don't even realize it. Like, we were following the story of Ian Roberts, the guy that was the superintendent for the Des Moines, Iowa school system a couple weeks ago. You look in at who the chairman of the board was that like put him in place is Jackie Norris,
who is Michelle Obama's chief of staff.
Yes, she was.
What
so
an
it's like
thing,
they got their spider webs into everything.
Yeah. But here we are, and it's, Jesus Christ, dude, this is like after last night, this is going down. There is no, even if this guy backs out of the race, it's too late. Yeah. I mean, you're fucking 2 weeks away now, and sorry, man, this is it. I just wonder how drastic this is going to change New York City. Like, how quickly, I guess. Sorry, let me rephrase that. How quickly this will change that city for it to go into the absolute fucking toilet. Because when Eric Adams took over, it was, well, shit, de Blasio before him had kind of set the stage, and then Eric Adams, and then it completely fell apart. Once we started shipping up, what was it, 1,000 immigrants, the whole fucking city panicked and didn't know what to do, and they were out of money in, like, I don't know, 20 days, 28 days, something like that. So I wonder what's going to happen with all this shit. And then how many people are going to move? How many people are getting the fuck out of there? If you want to jack up taxes to 52%, good luck, dude.
I'll tell you who's going to move. It's going to be the business owners who are going to get the fuck out of there, because it's untenable to remain in a city that's going to charge you the tax rate that those guys are going to get hammered with. When you're treated like you are responsible for upholding the people in your society who want to do nothing and want everything handed to them, you're going to move. You're going to go to a place in this country where you're not expected to give handouts. You know, business is not responsible, and business owners are not responsible for keeping you alive. There's a transactional relationship that you have when you work for somebody, that they pay you. That's the responsibility. Not to be taxed to the point where owning a business is so untenable that you collapse. You know, and to think that you're going to run this model in a city like New York City, which, like I said already, is the capitalism country or hub of the world, and that this is going to survive somehow, or that it's okay to, you know, think that he won't have an effect on the macro that is New York City is crazy. You know, it's like what I live in California, unfortunately, and to watch what's happened to a city like San Francisco, where all of these stores and businesses.
Are you in San Francisco?
No, I'm not. I live close enough to the Bay Area to where it's in a drivable distance. But you know, my wife is a native Californian, and to watch a lot of these businesses and other things in California close up. We go downtown, even a couple of years ago. Go to San Francisco, you go and you're going to see some things. And even a couple of years ago, it wasn't as bad as it is now, where you can't even walk without having to walk over somebody who's doing drugs or is naked and homeless in the street. And that's why businesses don't want to stay, because there's laws that protect these people from sitting in front of your business. You open in the morning, your fucking front door smells like piss, all these other things. You know, why would anybody want to stay? San Francisco has experienced this. All these businesses and people have abandoned the city. Well, if you install these policies that Mamdani is talking about, that's exactly what these businesses are going to do. I'm sorry, but businesses keep the city afloat and give people jobs. That's something that people like him seem to forget, is that these guys, they have all this money, but they employ 100,000 people, right, and keep all these other families afloat, which is exactly what keeps the economy running. So it's a stupid Marxist way of thinking. To you said, you know, Marx has this idea that everybody is a product of their economic situation, which totally negates the other half of that dichotomy, which is that people and their personalities have an effect on what happens in the economy too. And Marxists seem to forget that. And if you don't like what the fuck is going on in your city, you're going to leave. You're not beholden to the economic standards.
Change it.
Exactly. Or you change it. And Curtis Silva staying in the city is exactly what should happen.
They're changing it on purpose, right? It's becoming like the population of New York is, because as of 2023, at least a third of the people that live in New York were not born inside of the United States. Not even born in New York, but they weren't even born in the United States. That's 2023. We know, like, It's 2025, so 2 more years of immigration, if you want to call it that. So who knows what the population of it looks like now? But there's a reason that Mom and Daddy is running around doing campaign commercials in foreign languages.
Right.
How did you convince people that raising taxes was a good idea?
I don't know.
It's not difficult. It happens all the time, actually.
But that high,
that's actually a good
to
point,
hear
yeah.
that number out loud, because usually we hear, hey, I'm going to lower taxes, I'm going to raise taxes. We never hear an actual number.
Right.
To hear that number out loud on Fox yesterday, because he was on Fox News, we played it on fake news, was astounding to me. 52%.
Yeah.
I was like,
so on the
that's
outside of the Trojan horse, it says tax the rich. And on the inside, it's a 54% tax for everybody in the city, whether they know it or not, right?
Yeah.
And they pay that tax whether it's directly or through fucking other types of tax that people that make more than them are charging them downstream. Now, yeah, a lot of people ask a lot, why him? Why are we allowing Muslims to do this in Michigan and in Minnesota and in California and in fucking everywhere, in New York City, right, where they fucking dropped 2 of our buildings? And the reason is simply neo-Marxism. You're going to have to follow me on this for just a moment. Islam is an intrinsically Marxist ideology. That is something that people need to fucking wrap their brains around. The reason they're using it specifically as an infiltration tool is because it is by its nature Marxist. There are these, and Islam is the only religion like this. There are concepts like Mustadafin, which means the oppressed, and then Togut, which means oppressors. It's the only religion that talks in Marxist language. By the way, 1,000 years before Marxism existed is when this shit was written down. It mirrors Marxism's bourgeoisie proletariat divide, and like it actually may have been the reason he came up with it in the first place. Islamic, or the Quran is the only religious book that talks about fair wages, about workers' rights, about condemning usury, right? Which is what an odd thing to do. We're in business. If I need money, I need to go get it.
Yeah.
Right. I need to go get money to help me grow my business. And that person should make some money too because they're taking risks by giving me money. What the fuck? Why would you be against that? It's stupid.
I don't know.
Now, there is also this idea as a system that alienates labor and concentrates power from a capitalistic viewpoint. That's how Muslims feel. They do not like capitalism. You go to there's not one capitalist Muslim country on earth. Not one. Even
like Saudi Arabia.
No, even the ones that we're friends with. So a lot of people argue in the early Muslim community in Medina under the pedophile prophet Muhammad. It functioned as a welfare state, right? The entire state was functioning as a welfare state. So they had a minimum income and basic need allowance. They had UBI, and you either had a minimum wage or a basic income. Just like the fucking Marxists want right now.
It's socialism.
The same goddamn thing. They write extensively rather about anti-colonialism, even though they were engaged in colonialism, which led to the Crusades. All this stuff. Islam by its nature is a Marxist ideology. That is why it is the primary vehicle in the West to introduce neo-Marxism in Europe and in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Can I build on your idea right there really fast? So Marxism also has this idea of the educated vanguard that leads the proletariat.
Yeah.
Any society that is completely Muslim, right? Let's look at the Taliban. They interpret the Quran and the whatever religious text as the only interpretation of Islam there is that you have to abide by. They have religious police, which if you want to take a look at what like Marxism is as an orthodoxy versus what a religion actually is, they mirror each other really well. You did a good job of outlining that. But that's exactly what a group like the Taliban is. They are a vanguard that leads the common person who, you're beholden to the interpretation of the religious law of Sharia that they say is that interpretation. Because if you go and you look at different countries, I guess, that have Muslims as the leadership, they're all these different interpretations. So it requires somebody to be in charge that interprets Sharia law the way that they want it to be interpreted for you to understand. You can't just have a society where you're all interpreting it the way you are. Like maybe like a modern, I guess, Christian society has that, where, you know, there's all these different groups, and you don't see, like, not anymore, like Christian extremism like you did hundreds of years ago, right? Like the Muslim extremism that you have today. But there is a vanguard of leadership that only understands what pure Islam actually is, and this is the way that it has to be carried out, so much that we have a religious police to enforce these things, which is exactly what Marxists want. That vanguard is the police for the proletariat to tell you, hey, we interpret it the correct way. You're not fully involved in this. That's why you need us to do this for you. And whatever we say punishment-wise or the interpretation is the way it is. Otherwise, you no longer belong to this group. You are now in an out group.
That's wrong speak.
Yeah.
As
exactly.
You know,
well, and to your point, that's why the Muslim faith is divided, right, between the two big sects of Sunni and Shia, because they require they want to bring about a global caliphate. But even between those two groups, like, one has to win out over the other. Correct. So they're locked in a global conflict, over that as well.
And then there's the second order effect of this is that you can look into Afin and Taghut and see that there's this oppressor versus oppressed ideology baked in to Islam. Anti-colonialism, despite the fact that they are by law required to establish a global caliphate, which is colonialism, right? It's oppressor oppressed. We're the oppressed, so we can do whatever we want. No matter what we do, it's fine. We can blow up buildings, cut babies' heads off, whatever the fuck we want. That's fine, but don't bomb us. Because that's genocide, right? This should make you very suspicious of so-called conservative people who are out there bashing Israel's response to something and then supporting Arab Muslim countries who would cut your fucking head off the first chance they got if you went over there, you piece of shit.
I agree. And, you know, Trump said it yesterday in a tweet, hey, if Hamas keeps killing people over there, this was not part of the deal, and then we're going to fucking...
go kill them.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what he means by we, because American troops aren't going there.
No,
that's just not going to happen.
I think he's giving the weapons to Israel. It's what's it's the old wink wink.
Well, they should pay. They should pay for them.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. To be honest with you, but I don't know exactly all the finer points of that peace deal, that 20-point plan. So I'm not sure if other countries get involved, how that works out, and then who's in control of bombing the shit out of them. We'll see. One of the things last night that was brought up was by the moderator was all the free shit, as you said yesterday, Dan. One of them was buses. And they said that buses would cost $700 million a year if they were free for everybody in New York City. And they were like, how do you plan to pay for this? And he's like, well, there's going to be another corporate tax. So there's not just a tax on the citizens. There's also going to be a corporate tax as well for corporations who work in the city, who make X amount of dollars and all this other shit. As he's going on about this, the $36 an hour wage, potential grocery stores that are run by the city.
Oh, you mean like the one in Kansas City that just failed?
Yeah.
Shut down.
Georgia's done that too.
New York City had a $35 billion budget deficit in the last fiscal year. So not only do they have to make up for that for the shit they're already paying for, he wants to add more to it. If you want to vote for that, that's on you.
Yep.
Good luck.
Good luck.
But it's not just them that are going to deal with that. Those federal dollars end up going in to bail those cities out for that stuff, and then it ends up becoming all of our burden too.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't know.
Can you turn off the funding?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's. I don't know how ethical it is for Trump to say we're not going to send federal dollars to your state if you vote, or to your city if you vote for that guy.
Right.
That's probably not the best way to handle that, to be honest.
I understand the sentiment, though.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I probably wouldn't say that out loud. But I think that should happen in reality. Yeah, you shouldn't. Should we send money to neo-Marxists who want to tear our country to pieces? No.
Yeah,
that's a pretty easy fucking answer right there.
But it's strange to see what's happening to our country because, you know, I watched that debate last night, and then I get up, and then I see this video by Ilhan Omar. Bob, you can go ahead and play this clip today, which is another fun one. This is in America that this happened today, and I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? Go ahead and press play on this.
caawa aan fursad u helay madaxweynaha Soomaaliya
President of Somalia.
Our president. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud inaan maanta ku soo dhaweyno Minneapolis
Let's give a warm Minneapolis welcome to the president of Somalia.
special relationship aan qabnaa. Aniga adeeraan ugu
I call him uncle and he calls me his girl. It's weird.
madaxweyne sidii qof kasta
Welcome
uu
to your
yiri
home.
mininkan
Our home is your
waaye
home.
ku soo
Welcome to
dhawow
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay in maanta madaxweynaheena aad tahay.
There's no room in America for hyphenated Americans.
No.
That's what Teddy Roosevelt said.
Somalia.
We have but one
So
flag.
she says Somalia is our home. It is home to all the people gathered here. How? You live in Minneapolis, so how is that your home? Somalia is in our hearts.
This should
It
be
is in our
grounds
hearts.
for immediate dismissal.
Yes. We always think about Somalia, she goes on to say here.
Our president says you are not putting our actual president, right, the American president, first.
Right.
And if America is not first and you are a representative of American citizens, then you have no business being a representative for American citizens.
You got to get the fuck out of here.
100%.
Sorry, you do. But we're letting this happen in a lot of cities. And I don't know why. Because is the Democratic vote worth more than your own goddamn country at the end of the day? I mean, this is changing the fabric of America. Minneapolis is a big city. New York's a big city.
You're asking the wrong question. They don't give a fuck about the fabric of America. It's Neo-Marxism's position is to tear down capitalism, tear down the West, and replace it with Marxism.
The revolution is a cleansing process.
But you're talking about religion too, because you'd be cleansing religion as well. Yeah.
Well, and at some point, Islam is not going to be compatible with Neo-Marxism anymore. Like this is like they are going to eventually come to conflict with themselves. Yeah. As far as the Democratic Party is concerned and the Neo-Marxists are concerned, they're good bedfellows right now.
Yeah.
But eventually, it's going to come to a point where either the global caliphate is going to, ascend to dominance, or Neo-Marxism will.
Yeah, because Marxism in itself is a religion that's exclusionary, right? So that Marxism came about as a replacement for religion from philosophical atheists in the middle part of the 19th century. That's where it came from originally, right? So they we don't believe in this religion anymore. And not just that, as it grew in popularity, people realized not only do we not believe in religion, we believe in this now, but this is our religion. And as such, we can't have any competition from religion, right? Because the state is God for us. It has to be, because you have to be completely obedient to it. And there's only one entity in anybody's lives who they're completely obedient to, and that's their God, whatever their God happens to be. That's the position of Marxism. So whether it's Neo-Marxism as a tactic to install Marxism or Marxism itself, they can't have competition downstream from religion. At some point, there's a 360-degree firing squad where they have to push anybody out that's subservient to anything but the state.
Yeah. It's so wild to see to me. She just endorsed also the candidates, that other Somalian dude we were talking about.
Of course.
Omar
Yes. I don't know if he's up or down in the polls there.
He looks down.
I know he's down in IQ.
Yeah. Well, he looks down, but
He said, "Look at me."
different way, obviously.
You got it. You got it.
I got it. But is he up or down in the polls? Do we even know that?
As far as I know, there was some issues, I guess, with certifying him before.
Well, he got sued.
Yeah.
He got sued for continuing to claim that the local Democrats were, sponsoring him or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
So probably not great.
None of this is great, and this is happening in a lot of goddamn cities, man. And if we don't do something, we're fucked.
Well, I mean, I think to his, or both of their points actually, that the right just needs to mostly police their own side and articulate why it's a bad ideology and articulate the differences between these things, because it will come to a head pretty soon. We're already seeing it with the Muslim-run cities now are starting to ban all the queer shit from happening.
Yep.
And that's going to be no more fiki.
It is a great positive that in this country that we have the ability to bite at the hand that feeds. We have the ability to criticize the government. And unfortunately, there are a group of people who do not believe in American ideals and this American experiment that want to bite the hand that feeds because they want to replace it with something that would not allow them to question the government in itself, right? And so there's an irony in this. And the open way that we have the society here in the United States unfortunately hamstrings us in certain ways. And that's why it's so important for people to, like you said, to establish terms, stop conflating things, stop with the semantic overload on what things are actually going on. Understand that your we have a quote here on our podcast, is that citizenship is not passive. And what that means is you have to get involved in the governance that goes on. I guarantee you, if you asked 100 people on the street, name me a local politician, the majority of them probably could not do that. But they could tell you who AOC is. They could tell you who, name a, Ilhan Omar. They could name you a national level politician. If you get involved in local governance and start changing things that way, if people would do that, then you would see things eventually start to change. But unfortunately, people have this, I guess it's preconception that everything is going to work out in your favor because that everybody above you, so to speak, is looking out for you. Clearly, this is evidence that it's not. And there are states now in this union that unfortunately are being taken over by groups like this who say our president in reference to the Somalian president. And as somebody who has been to the Horn of Africa, let me tell you, it is a shithole, okay? And in no way, shape, or form do I want Minneapolis or any other state in this country to look like the Horn of Africa, where if you're talking to kids about taking care of themselves and not running to Al-Shabaab as an option, you get your fucking arms cut off in front of them, right? Yeah. So just saying, get involved in government. Stop pretending like you're powerless against this shit and go fucking campaign and go out there and you would be surprised how easy it is to just show up to these meetings and wind up standing behind Pete Hegseth in a yellow tie. Shout out Adam Dorito. Okay. And in just a year, it is Dorito. Yeah. He is. Okay. He's dangerously
Any relation?
Cheesy. No, it's spelled a little. It's DER. He was on Citizen. Adam's a good friend of the show, but within a year, he's standing there in Washington D.C. So don't tell me it's too fucking hard to do this shit.
I don't think it is either. Obviously, you need the voice, and you need a little bit of funding here and there. Like we saw Brandon Herrera come with 400 votes. I think he's going to win this time. I truly believe it.
Yeah, the Tony Gonzalez.
By the way,
there's some weird shit
you're right.
going on behind the scenes there.
If you haven't turned 36 yet, then the Somalia, Eritrea, Ethiopia has been in civil war longer than you've been alive. Mm-hmm. So good luck, asshole. Yeah, let's bring that here. Yeah. That sounds fucking
bring it all here. That'll be awesome. And then the great Don Lemon is back. Thank God. Bob, if you want to play this clip from
34
yesterday.
91, 34, excuse me.
34 years?
Yep.
Okay. They've been in a civil war. So go ahead and play this one. He's telling illegals to go out and get some guns and start firing back at ICE here.
Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out.
Shout out to his skincare regimen, though.
In your place where you
Black
live
on crack, dude.
and get a gun legally. Get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for? Go back and read what the Second Amendment says. And perhaps it will knock some sense in the heads of these people who are saying, well, it's all great. I don't believe they're doing it without due process. They're asking people for papers. They're not really beating people up. These people are doing things that are illegal. Nobody is illegal. It is a misdemeanor to cross the border. Now,
is that true?
Yes. But a misdemeanor is
a crime.
Yeah. And don't you get deported for that crime?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What is Don Lemon doing here? He's asking people to do shit that he doesn't have the fucking balls to do himself.
No.
Well, to answer your question, no, you don't get deported for crimes like that all the way up until, or at least a year ago, because we were seeing a story just this morning where they arrested a guy in Chicago. He's been here 10 years illegally, and he was a badge-carrying officer.
We had that story on Fake News yesterday. Yeah. That was fun. That was a real good time. So,
I wonder what things he investigated, right?
We had the same conversation because let's say no, it's fine. But let's say you got arrested, and then you served any amount of time, or you're still serving time for that crime. You will be out on a technicality in about 48 hours. 100%. So I mean, there's lawyers lined up right now.
Let's say that you were completely and totally guilty. Mm-hmm. Let's say he did some good things as a cop, but still
undone,
completely all undone because you yourself were not following the law. You cannot. Oh my God! And then the idea that he can carry a badge and a gun and deny somebody their rights to life, liberty, right? Like there, you can shoot him, you can put him in a cage, and you're not even a U.S. citizen?
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. But we'd had a Democratic candidate on the show. What was it, last week? Or no, he's in Congress.
Yeah, he's been in Congress for 30 years.
For 30
Adam
years.
Smith
Yeah, Adam
from
Smith.
Washington,
And we've gotten 8 other calls from Democrats to come and be on the show. And part of me, here's the confusion of it, because I thought he was good, and obviously we disagreed on some shit. I've always said the same thing. It's usually 2 issues between like real people who are kind of in the middle, on right and left, that you really disagree on, and the rest of people are pretty fucking normal-headed. And he seemed to be relatively normal-headed as well. And but instead of reaching out to Republican podcasts to get on their shows, or conservative podcasts, I should say, why not just change your own party? That's what I don't get. It's almost like hey, there's some good ones of us here. We're, don't forget us. And it's like, no. I mean, just change your own fucking party and get back in.
Well, there's an organization doing it right now. It's called Majority Democrats. And it's very much along the same lines as
Tea Party back in the day.
Yeah, a little bit. No, the Tea Party people were kind of crazy, to be honest. But they're like, the motivation was Republicans are going to war and spending money just like the Democrats. So why the fuck are we paying them attention? Mm-hmm. That was the Tea Party ideology. They were correct about that. It's just that Michelle Bachmann and Steve King and people like that showed up to the party, because whenever you have any kind of political uprising of any sort, the craziest possible people show up to it. Yep. That's why it's important to watch it, look around, and make sure that Nick Fuentes is not standing over there. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, not that guy. Obviously, right. Yeah. We want a society where white people aren't afraid that they're going to get fucked in court because they just got the shit kicked out of them by 2 black kids, and the black judge said, oh, it's fine, they'll get probation, like big balls. Right, the Doge kid, like that. We want to live in that society, but I'm not going to blame all the black people in the world for it, because that's retarded. You know what I mean? Like, gatekeep your own side. That's your job to do that.
Well, there's a difference between equal representation under the law and a white ethno state being the norm, right? Those 2 things can, be different, and we can have a conversation again about true justice. Right, and not being beholden to identity politics and the sort of, I guess, really peer pressure at the end of the day. Like, you asked this question, why don't they go to these other podcasts? Well, because they can't. There is a understanding and an expectation that no matter what it is, if it's branded with a D next to their name, that we have to unitedly stand up for it, and it represents us in totality. And unfortunately, the right has people now that are okay with this sort of thing, because they think, too, like, this is a one side or the other, as opposed to seeing all of us as Americans working towards the betterment of this country and furthering this American experiment, right? You're seeing other Americans, if you said before, Chris, right? You said that you have to start seeing people as people with bad ideas, not bad people with ideas. Right. And if you start splitting down the middle and there are teams and everything you do is to counteract the other team, well, you're not putting the country first. You're putting your ideologically captured bullshit first, is what you're doing. And that is not good for everybody, because this is supposed to be a place where ideas are okay, and that John Stuart Mill idea of the marketplace of ideas is where we're going to have a dialectic, we're going to have a conversation, and at the other end of this conversation, iron sharpens iron, the idea that comes out the other side is best.
And by the way, we get breaking news here from Fox. So Fox said they've got the new polls after last night's debate in New York.
Okay.
49% Mamdani, 28% for Cuomo, 13% for Curtis Silva. You're not even close.
Not even, no. Jeez. Even if you remove Silva and added that 13 to the 28, you're still not even.
A 21-point lead with 2 weeks left to go.
We're looking at him as mayor, really.
Oh, 100%.
If you believe the poll, right?
I'm really surprised that Wall Street is letting this happen.
That's another one.
Because they're going to take it up the ass.
Exactly. I thought something would have happened. You thought the same thing, and nothing is materialized.
I still don't think he'll win.
Really?
No.
Huh. What? And how would you do that without cheating, I guess?
I think that in the 2024 election, somebody said that Trump was down by 6 points in Iowa. Yep. That's what I think.
Yep.
Yeah. The night before it was like 11 points. They were trying to convince
that was
people,
was a fringe poll, but a legitimate poll said it was 6 points. I just don't, and maybe it's cognitive dissonance on my part. I don't know. I don't see him winning that. But if he does, then it'll be fun times for everyone.
Yeah, because the other part too, which I did not know, and we'll bring this up now, Mayor Eric Adams, who dropped out too late and will appear on the ballot because he dropped out after the deadline for removing names.
Yeah.
He's still polling at 2 to 3% because either people early voted or they don't know that he's not running anymore.
You can't tell me that wasn't on purpose.
That he dropped out? Yeah,
That he-
I
that-
thought
that
for
he did-
sure
no,
they
that
would
he
buy
did it-
out both of those guys.
That he did it too late. And it's like, oh no, my name is still on the ballot. Whoops. You can't tell me that's like these guys have entire
think
staff.
He's that dumb though. I really like. That's one guy where I'm like,
Really?
I think he's a fucking moron.
Who?
Eric Adams. Like I just think he's that dumb. He wasn't in politics before. I believe he was.
He was in the
He's
police.
a police
he was,
captain.
NYPD. Yeah.
So I just don't think he knew. And I think he clearly got a massive paycheck. The other guy went on Breakfast Club yesterday and said, hey, I got a $10 million offer to drop out the Republican candidate at Sliwa. So I'm sure he got a hefty check for getting the fuck out of there. But man,
Which that goes back to your
21 points is
the point
a
that you were
lot.
making earlier about the guy saying, or I guess the conservative, the Republican. Sorry, those two terms are not the same. But the Republican that was saying like, oh no, I'm going to still stay here. I'm a New Yorker, like through and through. It's like, oh, well, it must be nice, yeah, because you don't live in the same economical class that the bulk of the people in New York that live in. Like they're the ones that are going to get shafted through all this. So yeah, you might be able to stay. You might be
the
able
ones
to
on the
weather
Upper
this
West
storm.
Side, Upper East Side,
Yeah.
cool. Have fun down in the Village and
Right.
everywhere else.
Yeah, there's only one real historical way to beat Marxism, especially internally, and that's to turn off the money faucet. Right. I mean, that's how we took down the USSR. It wasn't through armed conflict. We started the Star Wars program and a fucking arms race that they couldn't pay for. And they fucking crashed. Their market crashed as a result.
Yep.
It's the same thing we should be doing to China right now. I've been saying this for 2 years now.
Oh, yes.
We should be spending all of our money on computer chips and energy right now. And in about 18 months, China's economy will fold because they can't keep up. They can't keep up with what they're doing
Aren't
right
we
now.
though?
Well,
aren't we
We're-
doing that
it's
now?
finally starting
Yeah.
now. It's finally starting now. But that should have happened a long time ago. And then, yeah, the only way to really do it is to turn the faucet off. You saw it with all these universities. What happened? Their money gets threatened and they shut the fuck up and start arresting people.
Yep.
That's the first step. The second step is neo-Marxists will then get violent. They'll take to the streets and get violent, and you arrest them or retaliate the violence, and then then it goes away for 20 or 40 years. That's how you deal with Marxism.
That's why I want to see the Trump administration start opening up more fronts in more cities, going after these anti-ICE guys. Because the further that you spread, if you think about it like an unconventional warfare campaign, the further that you spread their lines out and cause their funding to start fracturing and going different places, like the more
They'll expose
advantage
themselves.
Yeah,
exactly.
it helps in some ways to not flood the zone is not the right way to say it, but it helps in some ways to bring overwhelming force to an area and conduct operations like that. But that's not how we've worked with HIDTA, for example, over the years, the high-intensity drug trafficking areas. It was intentionally spread out around the country to limit that. So, yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Well, that's when you want to keep conflict like below what's called the liminal zone. Like you don't want it to break out into open conflict on the streets. Right now it is. It already is. And so that's why I'm saying like maybe more of a it's completely and totally my opinion and it does not represent the Department of War whatsoever.
Sure.
But like
Same with my homosexual friends out there, all 18% of you.
but like a
6%
recon by fire strategy right now is not a bad idea because it's already in open conflict in the streets.
Well, it started this week, actually. So two Antifa people in Texas got charged with terrorism now, first ones.
Yep.
And there's going to be more after this weekend.
should.
There's a No Kings protest tomorrow. If you guys
Yeah,
want
you
to
guys
stick
going?
around for another day.
Yeah, you should. I like,
might film some
Austin
of it.
should be lit.
Yeah, I saw
Chicago.
Abbott put out a statement about protecting property and stuff like that today. Yeah,
Did he really?
he did.
Bob, do you have that? Can you go to his Twitter real quick? I'd just be curious to see what he said.
Yeah, does he say that we can defend property by force? Because we may have to change our plans tomorrow, sweetheart.
Yeah.
It's about being mindful. You know what I mean?
No,
It's mindful?
Mindful. Yeah.
Okay.
Which Twitter?
Wheelchair. Wheelchair. I don't think he goes by that handle, but if he
Hot
did,
Wheels.
it'd be great.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah. Hot Wheels. But yeah, let's see what he has to say about it here because I'm curious. What is this tonight or tomorrow?
I guess it's tomorrow.
I don't really follow that bullshit as far as protests go because I work for a living, so yeah, I don't really have time for that, and I've got kids.
Yeah, there it is.
Read that aloud, please.
Today, I directed the Department of Public Safety and National Guard to surge forces into Austin ahead of an Antifa-linked protest. Texas will not tolerate chaos. Anyone destroying property or committing acts of violence will be swiftly arrested. Law and order will be enforced.
Gay. Yeah. If these people were serious about this shit, they would reach out to the local veteran community and say, hey, you're all deputized.
Boom.
Yep.
Show up downtown with whatever kit you got.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it would.
Man.
You know you know what wouldn't happen is Antifa busting out windows because they would get their fucking heads caved in.
Exactly.
Issue an open letter of marque on anybody that's identified as Antifa, right? And put a list out of their names. Look, these people have chosen, again, not collectivism, these people have chosen with their own actions, with their own choice to join a terrorist organization and go out and terrorize cities. And as such, they should be put fucking down. We don't negotiate with that bullshit here.
F1 is in town. Can I just have a pitch here and just let one of those cars loose through the fucking...
Oh, dude.
Oh, boy.
Could you imagine
just
Max Verstappen just fucking running people over?
Just give Max like a
I'd be
backup
okay
car.
with that.
That's
No, we should. Those bodies get ripped up.
Yeah, the carbon will destroy too fast.
What we need is monster trucks.
Oh,
that'd be better.
that'd be
That's
fun.
more American.
Yeah, that is.
Or just like get the monster trucks and then kit them out like Mad Max.
There you go. Sunday,
Kid him out like Matt. Yeah, I want the speakers on top too, but it's only quotes from Randy Macho Man Savage. You know, cup of coffee in the big time, yeah, and then just fucking driving over people. God, that'd be great.
I thought you were gonna say Randy from Trailer Park Boys.
No, which would also be great.
I was thinking about the soundtrack from Mad Max.
Oh, that's the original, right?
Yeah, of
okay,
course.
good.
Of course.
Good. I didn't know if we were.
Well, if you could get Mel Gibson out there, that would be even better.
He's shooting POC 2 and 3 right now, so he's busy at the time.
Can I just take the second to tell the uniformed military service members, veterans, that if you're posting a picture of yourself in uniform online and you're saying, here's a picture of me in my Antifa uniform, that you are an uneducated idiot, and that Antifa actually, while it is a conjoining of the word, what was it you said when you conjoined two words?
I don't remember. It was weeks ago when I said that shit.
Okay.
Portimao.
There you go. Yeah, Portimao, whatever.
Something.
It is conjoining of the words anti and fascist, but
Portmanteau,
yeah. Right? Yeah. Antifa was originally an anti-capitalist, pro-Stalinist communist movement of violent thugs. So if you think posting a picture of yourself in your U.S. military uniform is somehow the equivalent of being Antifa, you're a fucking retard. Because you don't know a fucking thing about what Antifa actually is. They were just as bad as the Nazis. And the only reason why Antifa was unsuccessful is they became paranoid and too exclusive, letting in only pro-Stalinist communists into their movement. And the Nazis, the National Socialist movement, didn't care who the fuck was involved. And so if you think that that's edgy somehow, I just want you to know that you're a fucking full-blown retard.
Is there people doing that?
There are.
Okay, online?
It needs to be said. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I've seen sergeants major as well doing
boy.
that. So I don't know if they just think they're being fucking cool winning brownie points online, but educate yourself. That's all I have to say.
Okay. And then currently, Trump is in the White House right now with Ukrainian President Zelensky here, trying to figure this out.
That guy's still
Our
alive?
favorite actor.
I'm surprised. Yeah, they're taking questions together again, and that
Is he
should
wearing
be
a suit?
fun. Yes, it appears he is.
Does he look
Did he play
thankful?
the piano?
Yeah. Did he play the piano at all? Not sure. With his penis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the greatest things that I've ever seen in my life.
That's a major...
There's a lot of things I can knock him on. That's not one of them.
No, right.
You know what I'm
It takes
saying?
skill, right?
Yeah. Is that live, Bob? Is that inside there? Yeah, look at that.
Look at him.
He's got a little black
Got
suit.
his ass spanked. the
Look
last
at how
time
tiny
was
he
here.
is, man. So
Next
Trump
to
is
Trump.
6'3" in real life. This guy's probably pushing 5'6.5", 5'7", somewhere in there. I bet he's got lifts on. I can't see it underneath that camera one tab, but
DeSantis shoes
man. Yeah, we used to sell these shoes on the show that would give you lifts for Short Kings.
Right, yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Short Kings.
They were great.
You should start a brand of shoes called Short Kings, and they're just elevated shoes.
They did. So we promoted this. We promoted them.
Excuse
this
me, I did
company.
not know this. Look at me being fucking retarded.
And it was hilarious, dude.
behind
Like,
the
we
business.
loved
That's
it.
amazing.
Right.
And they were like, hey, are you finally leaning into this? And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm sure the Short Kings would love it, man. Like, I understand it.
Case
Yes.
in point, I wish I could put my feet on the floor right
They
now.
have, do they have
Yeah.
a model called the DeSantis? That would be
The
pretty funny.
DeSantis.
Right?
Oh,
The
beautiful.
DeSantis.
The Napoleon model, the
Fucking
Zelensky.
great, dude.
you know,
Yeah.
Any of them?
Is DeSantis really tiny? I've never met him.
He is pretty short.
Is
yeah.
he really? Okay. Interesting. Maybe that's part of the reason, too.
It could be.
You know?
Yeah.
Because he had a legitimate shot for a while.
Well, and then he got on camera. You know?
I know.
Yeah.
Started sucking down that Bud Lights.
Unfortunately, that's what
Like he was a
matters
dick.
to people is how well you present yourself.
Dan said the exact same thing when he was running. He was like, "There's probably one of the most qualified candidates ever."
Yeah.
And we'll never elect him because he's doesn't know what to do with his hands.
What was it? The Nixon debate?
Yeah.
Sweating his ass off. Yeah.
Those who watched it versus those who listened on the radio.
Yeah. Bob, go to your Twitter DMs really quickly because there's another thing that happened. So this gentleman right here with the circle around him, Louisiana resident.
Oh, okay.
That's him on October 7th.
Oh,
really?
Fighting for Hamas. He just got arrested today.
Okay.
So somehow this guy was able to be part of the terror attacks over there. And then his name is Mahmoud Amin Yaqub al-Mutabi.
Perfect.
A Gazan native currently residing in Lafayette, Louisiana.
That's not a Cajun name, right?
Yeah, I don't think so, yeah. He was arrested yesterday for his alleged involvement in Hamas-led terrorist attack in Israel on October 7th, 2023. After hiding out in the United States, this monster has been found and charged with participating in the atrocities of October 7th, the single deadliest day, blah, blah, blah. I can't read anything from Pam Bondi because she's a fucking imbecile.
Why was he here? How did he get here?
Well, we know how. Because the concept of credible fear in our immigration system got wiped out. So you go to Office of Resettlement or any of these other organizations and you say, hey, I'm afraid I'm going to apply for asylum. Here's my case. And they say yes or no, right? Either you have what's called credible fear or you don't. And if you do, and then the second tier is if you have any what they call DROGs or derogatory statements on your application or in your background. So if you're connected to a terrorist group or a cartel or blah, 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 they won't let you in no matter what you say.
Yeah.
That's what it used to be.
That's what it
However, if you say I'm from Gaza, I know a major, like the biggest terrorist attack in a very long time just happened in Gaza, but I'm coming to the United States. Here's my, I'm afraid.
Nope.
And they just let him in.
Nope.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I know.
And that's what happened to everybody from
I
Trinidad
bet he
and
was
Aragua.
afraid, man. Oh, his friends' pagers were blowing up.
Yeah. That's what happened with Trinidad, Aragua, and MS-13 and all the other cartel and gang members that came here. Yeah. And the 450 people on the terror watch list that made it through. All that.
Yep.
Same
And
thing.
then you have Kimmel last night. Bob, I just sent you that clip on Twitter if you can play that. You had Kimmel last night coming out for Antifa. I was surprised to see somebody support Antifa, but not surprised that it's him, I guess. Go ahead, press play on this one.
Antifa is just short for anti-fascist. It's not a club you can join. There are no membership dues, but they have matching signs. Okay, well, I guess we better round up these domestic terrorists, too. They look pretty matching to me. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. Spread it around. There's no chaos in Portland. None. There is no chaos in Chicago. There was no chaos in Los Angeles. They're pretending there's chaos as a pretense for a military takeover. But I'm open-minded. If there is chaos in these cities Trump calls hellholes, let's see it and decide if something needs to be done about it.
So here's what's crazy to me is you live in a hellhole. I used to live in that same hellhole for many, many years. That was created by our own politicians in that fucking state. If he just drove down the hills, just go downtown, just 2 blocks past Staples Center where the Lakers play, you'll see all the fucking hellhole you need. And if you want to take your kids down there, feel free. Because every restaurant closes, including Subway, for Christ's sakes, after 7 p.m. down there for a reason. And that's a hellhole that you currently live in. But by going on national TV and saying there is no chaos in Chicago or Portland or any of these other cities is fucking insanity.
Yeah, that's some real Baghdad Bob shit there.
I mean, what the fuck?
Well, you'd have to admit gang violence is a problem, and then that gang violence is a problem that exists mostly in the black community, but now we're getting outside of what identity politics actually says, and so we can't talk about those things.
I mean, Chicago's the easiest one. That's the biggest layup.
Absolutely.
Portland was Chaz, right? Wasn't that Chaz or was that Seattle?
That was Seattle.
I think it was Seattle.
Seattle. But that's the easiest one. If you just look at, what was the numbers you brought up the other day, Dan? It was October 15th. How many people had been fucking shot already?
I don't remember.
It was over
in Chicago. It's been 30 a weekend.
30 weekend. Okay.
I do know that at the height of the Iraq War and at the height of the Afghanistan War, the murders in Chicago, at least between I think it was like 2018 and like 2021 or something like that in that time frame, were multiple factors higher.
Chirac.
Than it was in Iraq or Afghanistan at the height of GWAT.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Insane.
they did a whole show on it. That Chirac shit is real.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you go and read about the collapse of any great empire, the Romans or any other society that's existed, like the Weimar Republic, if you go read about it, and you read these authors who talk about, here are all these actual landmarks that we can discuss as evidence of a collapsing society. And the separation between the everyday person and the societal elite, the people that exist in the ivory tower, is evidence of this, where the people in the ivory tower have no actual idea what reality is on the ground and feel comfortable enough to go on here. And I think Jimmy Kimmel, I like to say this a lot, that you're too smart to convince me that you're this stupid. Jimmy Kimmel knows what he's saying is fucking propaganda. That's what it is. And he goes on his show and he says things like this. People laugh because he has a nationally syndicated television show. People think it's reality, and then it becomes the narrative that propagates around the country. And not only is it irresponsible, but it also demonstrates just how out of touch most people are with the reality in these cities and how much they don't want to confront the problems that exist in our country. And if they would, and if people like Jimmy he exists on
If you went to Chicago for the weekend.
If you went to Chicago for the weekend, you would fucking thank you.
Not the North Side, by the way. Don't go to a Cubs game.
Right, no, don't go to, well, that's its own brand of terrorism, right? As a Cardinals fan, just want to say. But,
wow.
Yeah.
Bob's from St. Louis.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, dude? But no, absolutely. That people subscribe to his bullshit because it feels good. That's it.
Yeah, it just reinforces their narrative. It's just confirmation bias. Right. But here's some information for you, stupid fucks. So 2016, right after Trump got elected, Antifa-led riot caused more than $1 million damage in Portland. A couple months later, they threatened the annual Avenue of Roses parade, including a Republican-themed float specifically, and they canceled the entire event. And later in 2017, they attacked and injured law enforcement attendees at a pro-free speech rally. Bernie Sanders in August of 2018 was beaten by Antifa militants for carrying an American flag. 2019 June, Portland Antifa terrorists were arrested after assaulting right-wing demonstrators and police with quick-drying cement. You remember that, the milkshake things? Mm-hmm. And bear spray. November 2019, Antifa terrorists were sentenced to 6 years in prison for using a weapon against a conservative demonstrator who suffered blows to the head that the victim claimed left him with a concussion, blah, blah, blah. May 2020, Antifa terrorists released a, quote, chilling video in which they threatened the city's mayor and publicized his home address. You may remember that mayor had to move because they set his fucking building on fire.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good times.
In 2020, Portland Antifa terrorists led 100 days of carnage and violence in Portland in which they rioted, looted, burned buildings, and bludgeoned officers, deployed power tools and commercial-grade fireworks as weapons. They also attempted to burn down a local courthouse. In August of 2020, self-described Antifa militant shot and killed a Patriot Prayer supporter. Everybody remembers that one. And then was later killed as he brandished a weapon while law enforcement attempted to apprehend him. October 2020, Antifa terrorists sparked a riot at a, quote, Indigenous Peoples Day of Rage event. Toppling
Day
statues.
of Rage?
Yeah. Toppling statues of Abraham Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt, neither of whom had anything to do with that shit. January of 2021, more than 100 Antifa demonstrators attacked Portland police and vandalized property with some armed with knives and long poles. In August of 21, Antifa terrorists violently attacked right-wing demonstrators with explosives and chemical spray, bear spray again. May of 22, Antifa members deployed smoke grenades, paint-filled balloons, and fireworks to break up a campaign event for a Republican political candidate. In May of 24, Antifa anarchist movement took credit for burning more than a dozen Portland Bureau training vehicles, and that was the organization of Rachel Corrie, the Ghost Brigade, as she calls it, stupid fucking fat cunt. And then, of course, everything that you're seeing happen right in front of your very eyes this year. Yeah. Fuck you, Jimmy Kimmel, you piece of shit. Yeah. You NIMBY, not in my backyard, fucking faggot. Fuck you. You are a piece of shit. He's a completely irredeemable waste of fucking oxygen. It's an affront to common decency that dude is allowed to speak in public.
Complete and total media puppet. I go back and look what he was doing in the 90s with the Man Show.
Guys, you go on. I mean, it's also what used to be the Tonight Show. Yeah. Like, you realize that, right?
Yes.
Like, it's just, it used to be a comedy show Now he's saying that military is going to take over the streets and that there is no violence in Portland and all these other cities. What does that have to do anything with comedy whatsoever? It makes no sense. But they're all in. And by the way, their staffs behind the scenes have met up, writing staffs. So him and Colbert are in conjunction for the rest of their run until they're out of there in May. And they're going to keep going back and forth and trying to eat up whatever audience they still have left to at least push this message.
They are neo-Marxists.
Correct.
Right? They're a part of that fucking, to be honest, I would compare it to the kill chain, right? The kill chain. Well, you know what? Why don't you explain the kill chain? You want to explain the kill chain? Let me do it real quick.
From targeting to the entire targeting cycle, like F380. So, yeah, well, I mean, it basically starts with like
to put you on the spot, Chris.
Well, I'm gonna say like at the risk of like doing TTPs and SFPs, let me like dumb it all the way down. You're like, hey, I have a thing that needs to be done.
ID,
right?
Dispatch. What's the next one? Initiation of attack and then destruction of target.
There you go.
So right now, what we're having is
like I can't go through.
Where are we at right now?
we're in the ID and dispatch of forces phase. That's what Jimmy Kimmel's job is. His job is to tell you who the real fascists are, right? You saw him like, Antifa's not real. How about these domestic terrorists at the Trump organization who just say, stop trying to put my candidate in prison for no reason? It said witch hunt.
Right.
Those are the real ones. Yep. Those are the real domestic violent extremists, as the last FBI tried to call them.
Yeah.
And that's the ID and the dispatch as well, because there's this call to action that you hear from Don Lemon. This is what the leftist media does. They're part of this neo-Marxist kill chain. The next one is go out and arm yourselves. You have to defend yourselves against that, right? They don't have the right. They don't have the right to fucking police their own streets and keep their communities safe. Those streets belong to you. This is neo-Marxism, period.
And it didn't start with Charlie Kirk, right? Like you just read off everything that happened in Portland. It was in Portland in
That's
2015.
just in Portland.
I was going to say, all of this has been building up towards what happened to Charlie, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it finally hit a tipping point, and I think, at least for a week, people were like, oh, fuck. Same with the Trump thing. That lasted about a week, 5 days. And people were like, oh, fuck, man. When he got shot, it was like, God damn, are we there?
Well, people heard about the incident in Portland where it's like, hey, we got a Trump supporter over here, pop in the street. But that didn't get caught on national TV and blasted out the second it happened.
No. And instead, even in fucking Senate today, Chuck Schumer made a statement about no kings here just about an hour ago. Bob, go ahead and play this clip. If you're
This
out
weekend's
there.
No Kings rallies will be an affirmation about what America is all about. We are a democracy in America. We have no kings, despite the fact that Trump has even said he wants to become one and is acting in ways that are a threat to our democracy. And I say to my fellow citizens, do not let Donald Trump or Republicans intimidate you into silence.
You think he's going to bring up the Baileys?
That's what they want to do. They're afraid of the truth.
What scares me is
Republicans
Schumer's
are going
grilling abilities,
apoplectic.
Yeah.
Because Americans are exercising their right to free speech. I say to Americans, show the world how much we love this country, how much we love our values, how much we love our democracy and want to preserve it. And don't be afraid. Trump and the Republicans want you to be afraid. They don't like free speech when it's free speech they don't want to hear. But we're not going to let them intimidate us. For weeks, Republicans have tried to vilify these rallies. They call them the most ridiculous of terms, hate America rallies. These are love America rallies. They call them terrorist rallies.
America more than people who are trying to overthrow
That's
the West.
just despicable. Do not let Donald Trump or Republicans intimidate you into silence. That is what they want. That is how dictators evolve, when good people of all different beliefs and backgrounds stay silent. No King's Day says we will not stay silent.
Okay, so one thing I want to address, too, that he said here in this little speech that we just heard is has been going on for weeks. No, up until the Free Palestine thing happens, that actually happens, they were immediately, Dan and I talked about this, we're going to go do something else, right? Because you can't just sit home all day doing nothing. You got to go out and do violence. And this is new. Was this planned weeks or months in advance, this No Kings thing, on top of the other shit? Or this is the first I've heard of it, maybe 48 hours ago.
Well, they have to jump on the Palestine thing, even within days of the terrorist attack, they had to jump on it because it is, as he mentioned before, This is an intrinsic part of their worldview. Decolonization is an intrinsic part of their fucking worldview. Decolonization means kill the Boers. It means, hey, these people who came here and made the country great, well, they got to go now because we had it first, even though we fucking had water with shit in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were fucking retarded Mongoloids and couldn't figure out how to establish a society. Well, these people who came here and gave us civilization, they got to go now because we have their civilization. I don't think so, brother. But this is intrinsic to the leftist neo-Marxist worldview and original Marxism as well, that there's an oppressor class and an oppressed class. And the oppressor class is always wrong regardless of the facts, and the inverse is also true, right? And nothing, even Islam itself, nothing symbolizes that more in the modern world than the fucking Palestine thing. It is decolonization. Time after time, these motherfuckers have been given the opportunity to have a shared state or a two-state solution, one after another, right? And what did they do? They took the money and time and they built bombs and tried to go to fucking war. Well, you can't win, fuckface. I'm sorry. It didn't work out for you. And the fact that they call themselves Palestinians in the first place is silly nonsense. They're either Jordanian or they're Egyptian, period. There's no such thing as Palestine. There never has been. It was a fucking creation of the Roman state, and it was almost an insult. It was an insulting creation of the Roman state to call them that, right? Because they took the fucking kingdom away from Judea and gave it to the so-called Palestinians, right? That was an insult. It wasn't a fucking like, hey, let's, you guys are awesome. Here, you're better than them. No, they wanted to fuck with the Jews. The Romans did. That's how the whole fucking thing started. And it was called Transjordania, that area, before. Then it was called the British Palestinian Mandate, right? It's never been called Palestine. You're not a Palestinian. The Jews that live there are Palestinian too, then, if you are.
Right.
Because they live there as well. And the Semitic ones, not the Ashkenazi necessarily, but the Semitic Jews who live there and the Semitic Christians who live there, the Coptics and all the other people that lived there during that time. It was pretty mixed. They're all Palestinians. So what the fuck are you talking about? By the way, there is one Republican democracy in the Middle East. It's Israel. And I'll tell you, they've got Arabs in their fucking government. You know who doesn't have Jews in their government? Any Arab country. Not one. So shut the fuck up. This is all about identity politics. It's about this Marxist ideology of decolonization, oppressor oppressed, and the fact that so many people on the left fell for it made sense, but now people on the right are falling for it. And it's fucking pathetic. It shows how little you know about history.
The other part is, too, if you look at Monday with the ceasefire that he signs, if you're looking at the party of violence versus what Trump is actually trying to do, he got that deal completed, and then in less than 4 days, he's met with Zelensky at the White House. Putin, where the fuck were they?
Hungary, right?
So
Budapest, yeah.
Budapest. So he had to fly back from Charlie Kirk's thing, then go to Budapest, and then back here to
He's
meet
on that
Zelensky?
booger sugar. I'm telling you, that's why he shut down the border.
They got him on. They got him on.
Bro.
He's on that cocaine. He's on cocaine.
I'm okay with it. You know?
Yeah, as long as he keeps getting work done and shares the cocaine. I've got this. I don't know if you guys listened to the show this week or not, but I've got this plan where me and Trump start. We just have one line each from here all the way to the Mexico border, and we snort it and fight Mexicans until we get there.
I think that's a good idea.
I think it's a great
Endorsed
idea.
by the Department of War.
Exactly. Right here. Right here.
Can I just say, though, before we jump off the topic, you gave a more succinct history of that region of the Middle East than the average conservative Christian knows. And so I get so frustrated and upset when conservative Christians allow themselves to be bullied and kowtowed into supporting the secular state of Israel no matter what, because the only thing that they know comes from the book of Genesis that is like, oh, well, God said, I will bless you, bless those who bless you, talking to Abraham, and I will curse those who curse you, right? And so then they allow that to be used as a bludgeon, that it's like, oh, well, I guess the Bible says I have to support Israel. And it's like, no, please go back and read that and understand what they're talking about. And like your rundown of the history of that actual region is way more comprehensive than most conservative Christians understand.
One of the reasons that it's the neo-Marxist pro-Palestine shit is thriving right now is because the biggest supporter of it, Zionism, in this country isn't Jews. It's evangelical Christians. And they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. If they just understood even the cursory history that I just said, there are legitimate reasons beyond the obvious that if I invite a bunch of Jews into my neighborhood, they might do some weird shit and wear a funny hat, but they're not going to try to blow me up. You know what I mean? They're not going to fucking eat the geese in the goddamn park What the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? There's a lot of reasons to take one side or the other. Look, I don't give a shit what happens over there.
Yeah.
I only care what happens here.
Same.
And I don't want one of those motherfuckers in my country.
Me neither. And I lived in a neighborhood with Hasidic Jews for 2.5 years in L.A.
Did they dig all the tunnels around there?
I don't know, but it was safe. It was safe. And
Property
they were,
values all went up?
dude, had zero problems with any of it. Man. They were always.
It probably didn't smell great in the summertime because they don't take that shit off.
No. It's by the way, it's all wool, and it looks
same thing
hot,
with
dude.
New York
and
the
they
summer.
travel in packs.
New York in September.
They do.
Yeah.
New York in September.
Oh,
It's
bro.
just like it looks like Pigpen walking around.
A summer, and if you've never spent a summer in New York, God,
It
you
gets
walk,
humid as
you
shit
walk
up
out,
there.
dude, you're sweating immediately. You're going.
I don't know
right
how
back
they
in
do
the
it. I mean,
shower.
it's a lot of commitment. I respect the fact that they're suffering for whatever that fuck.
There's no. It's just a concrete jungle of sun. There's nowhere for it
You
to
guys
go,
know
and
about
there's
the-
no trees.
You guys know about the wire that they built around neighborhoods in New York, right?
No.
There's certain like religious Jewish laws, right? The things that they cannot do on the Sabbath. And it has to do with like leaving your home. So you can actually go back and look this up, but there's neighborhoods in New York because it's like one of the first like enclaves where a lot of Jews like moved to, where they built wires that are actually maintained around the neighborhood so that it constitutes their home whenever they leave it. So that way they can still move about, go out of their house, but they're still inside this area.
You're not
that
allowed
allows them
to
get away with-
operate anything mechanically or anything like that.
Really?
Like some, if you're really hardcore, even turning a doorknob, you're not supposed to do, which is funny because back then they didn't have fucking doorknobs. So who came up with that goddamn rule?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's all sorts of weird shit like that.
It's just funny.
It is goofy to me, but you know what I mean? If that's what keeps you connected to your culture and you're not hurting anybody, I'm going to make fun of you 100%.
Yes.
I'm always going to. I'm never going to stop, but you can do it.
Yeah, and it was again. It was a safe neighborhood. Shit was rad, and
You were
yeah,
inside
dude.
the wire. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, it was, man. It was a fucking Kanye song, Through the Wire. But last but not least here, I want to chat because these boats, these cocaine boats that we will not give up because we want our cocaine.
Yes. I don't care about the dudes. So here's my thing, and let's get the Department of War's opinion on this.
Well, two of them survived. Hey, two of them
It's an official
survived.
opinion, actually.
Two of them survived that fucking latest attack.
I don't
on
care
their
about
boat.
that. I want them to use the same. I want them to use the switchblade that they used on Soleimani. So the dude gets knifed in half, but the cocaine's fine. Right?
Stays the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Bring me offline. I have a badass switchblade story for you.
Oh fuck.
All right. All right. Yeah, but two of these motherfuckers survived. They are in the Navy. Got them right now.
Oh, is Peaches in the chat here? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Fucking loser. Go to work. Oh, he's retired now.
Peaches.
Go find something
Peaches
to do.
is retired.
Son of a bitch.
Shout out to
He is
Peaches.
fuzzy peach now.
He's
with a
got
beard,
none.
dude.
Yeah, it's true.
So they have detained these two guys. I think part of it, man, one guy had a bag and was just like, Trump was like, bring him in.
Yeah.
I got a shit ton of meetings.
I'm
going to
search him myself. I can make sure.
I've got to do a line of coke from here to Mexico with Dan. So
I mean, just look at the last 5 days of where this motherfucker's. It is nuts.
Yeah, he's all
dude.
over.
why not, man? You know,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
white powder, no
I
white
support
powder.
that shit. Yeah.
He said-
White powder.
He said have him drop.
White powder.
White powder.
Have him-
White
have him
powder.
drop
Just
it
keep
off
your
in that
keep your
cubby.
fist closed when
Right.
you're doing it. That way
Yeah.
nobody knows.
Don't
Well,
drop your bag in the white
You've
powder.
got like a teaspoon and you're just like, white powder. White powder.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Now's the point of the show. We get to the Drinkin' Bro of the Week, which is someone who has inspired you or helped you become the person you are today. Brandon, we'll start with you. Who do you got?
Well, you know what? Because we're on Drinkin' Bros, I am literally going to shout out one of the best friends of this show that we have, and that is Aaron Love. I think you guys are familiar with Aaron. Part of One's Ready, Aaron Loves America, over there on social media. Because of the things that he's involved us in and just some of the friends we've made through Aaron, I'll say that he's my Drinkin' Bro of the Week, absolutely. Aaron Love is an awesome fucking guy. He's a dad. He's a veteran, former pararescueman. Awesome fucking American. You guys should go check him out. Definitely check out the One's Ready podcast. But Aaron Love, without a doubt.
Right on. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, another huge friend of the show. I'm going to go to Adam Dorito. Definitely a huge inspiration. Dan's had him on Citizen Pod. Watching that guy. First
Even
of all,
though he's an officer.
Yeah,
which I don't
he
know.
is.
I
Well, I
do
told
not.
him-
That makes him gay, right?
Do not approve
More
of that.
than 6%.
Just to say, I
definitely
don't
more
approve
than
of that one,
18% now. And I told him I'm never going to salute him, not even if there's a fire.
Not if
Yeah,
there's a fire.
yeah.
Anyway, to watch what he's done pushing the Dorito Act, like, I don't know if a lot of people didn't know this, and I certainly didn't know it, things that's like should be common sense, but before he started pushing the Dorito Act, like, it turns out that it was not illegal for the military to go back and retroactively change your medical records.
Yeah.
And so that's a thing that ended up happening to him. And
Why
so,
would they even do that?
And well, you know,
To frame
he's
you
got a
as
whole
crazy.
story about it, so you guys should bring him on so that he
Yeah,
could
we
talk
never
about
talked
that
about
in the
that.
Dorito X.
It's
But
nuts.
shout out to him to watch what he's been able to do, like Brandon was saying, in a year, from basically just showing up to his local Republican meetings there in Colorado to standing behind Pete Hegseth like during President Trump's inauguration is pretty incredible. And that's literally just, if you listen to him talk, he's like, I put on a suit, I went to the meetings, I got involved, and next thing you know, like, I'm at the presidential inauguration. He's talking about pushing legislation through, and he's also got more big news coming, so you definitely want to pay attention to that guy. But shout out to Admin Dorito. That's my drinking bro of the week, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you guys being here. Tell everybody where they can find you and your podcast.
Yeah, we always tell people to go to Rumble first. We're over there. We don't get our PP smack for going live on Rumble. We got 2 shows. We do our podcast, the long form pre-record stuff where we get into some crazy shit. We've got over now, almost 200 episodes. But we talk about a lot of stuff, dark history, conspiracy theories. We get into some philosophical stuff. We like to get weird. And then we have a live show on Rumble 2 nights a week. Wednesday, we call it the Check Fire. Friday night, we call it the Live Fire, where we talk politics. And a bunch of other stuff. We go for 4 hours. We got a live chat. Shout out to all our Fire fam over there. But find us on Rumble. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. So
great.
But yeah, please check us out. It'd be awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you guys being
Thank you.
here, dude.
Thanks for having us.
It was a fun day. Let's see how fun this weekend is. No kinks, okay? No kinks.
White powder.
Jesus Christ,
White
yeah.
powder.
Just teaspoons. Just hand out teaspoons. White powder.
Wait, did you say no kinks parade?
That would.
I'm
be
not okay
great.
with that.
Yeah, I'm not.
personally.
We don't do
We don't
that
kink
here.
shame.
We don't kink shame. We don't kink shame here. Appreciate you guys tuning in at home. Go to Spotify, rate the show a 5-star, no review over there. Then head on over to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. That is all the advertisers care about. And before YouTube turns out the lights here, this helps keep us going. We appreciate everybody supporting us on Patreon as well. For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros Podcast. Good night, everyone.